What up, G Life fam? It's your boy MC Shadow coming at you with another video. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, check out the playlist where I have all the videos broken into folder. It makes the video you're looking for a lot easier. Now, what I wanted to talk about today was the N word. Now, what about the N word? Alright, now before we get into it, this is going for Mexicans, whites, blacks, Asians. It's going out for everybody. Not only that, but I'm gonna bring it from the older side's perspective and from the younger side's perspective, and then I'm gonna give my perspective on it. So, before anybody on here, because I know when people start hearing, stuff that they don't like, they want to click out of the video and everything like that. Wait till the end. I'm gonna bring everybody's, sides into perspective and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Before anybody starts like, oh hell no, and wants to start clicking off. Just listen first. Now, the N word. Now, for example, myself, I don't say the N word. Never have said the N word. I don't recommend people use the N word. But, I do have homies that use it. It doesn't bother me. I understand where they're coming from, and I understand what they mean and all of that. I understand when they're saying the N word, what they're meaning. They're not trying to disrespect you. They're not trying to come at you like that or none of that stuff. To them it's like saying like what's up my boy or what's up dog or any of those kind of words. So they're not trying to come at you like that. So I don't understand why you would come at them with that energy. Now, because when you say I don't like being called that, or what you're taking offense to is being called African American, and so that already shows that you have a problem with African American. You know what I mean? Because it's not coming at them like, hey, I don't recommend that you use that word because, like it's a bad term that was used for these people. When you bring that other kind of energy, it's because you're taking offense to it because you don't like being, how could I say, confused for them or something like that. It's showing that you have an issue with them. My opinion on it. Now, but that's besides the point. So I have homies that use it and stuff like that, and I understand where they're coming from. They're not taking, whatever, and stuff like that. Now, but people shouldn't use it. More blacks. This starts with the African community in general. Even if you're black, you don't get to use the word. You know what I mean? As a matter of fact, there's a lot of older black people that take offense when people use the N word, meaning as in even their own kind. They prefer their own kind not to use it. It's more of the younger generation that uses it than anything else, and the reason for that is everyone's fault. It's everybody's fault. If your child or son or anything like that says the N word, it's your fault. You want to know how it's your fault? Since when they're small and you hear them using this word, you should already have told them, hey, don't be using that word. But I mean, like, actually explain it to them. Don't just say like, hey, you better not be using that word, I'll kick your ass. Or no, I mean actually break it down why they shouldn't use it. Like actually talk some knowledge, like sit down and actually break it down why they shouldn't. Don't just try to fucking threaten them and stuff like that. Like that is not how you get that is not how you solve things. You know what I mean? In anything, in business and smashing beat in countries and everything like that. You think the United States go, hey, homie, you better not bomb or we're gonna fuck you up, homie. No, that's not how you're gonna defuse or solve any solution. You know what I mean? And that goes for the real world too. Like just amongst people, you think if I want to get something through to the other side, I'm gonna tell them, hey, homie, sabes que? Hey, you fools better not be dissing the suit or I'm gonna fuck you up. Who the hell's gonna listen to me? Everyone's gonna be talking shit. You know what I mean? You gotta come at them the right way, and that includes, children. Because the reason why this word keeps coming out is because the parents have been doing a horrible job, plain and simple. You should be able to know your child like the back of your hand, like what kind of language they be using, what kind of stuff. Like you guys should have a relationship where you guys know everything. And don't tell me, because I have teenagers and I hear them with their friends when they think I'm not lucky. Did some of them like curse and stuff like that? Yeah, you know what I mean. And I understand, the reason behind it and all of that and everything. They don't use it around me, and they don't use it around older people. Are already showing me that they understand where where when they're able to use terms and and stuff like that, and they don't use it loosely like other people do or whatever. You know what I mean? So I understand, but they never use the N word and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Another thing, because see, parents, what they need to be doing is randomly checking their kid's phone. Not meaning like you check your kid's phone every night, because then they'll delete stuff and they'll know how to go around it. Just randomly ask him, oh, let me see your phone, and just randomly go through a message or two, but with their friends. That way you know how they speak around with their friends. You know what I mean? And if there's something in there that you dislike, you don't go, hey, what kind of shit is it? You sit down and you actually have a conversation. That is how you do it. But anywho, so I have homies that use the N word, and so I understand where they're coming from and everything like that. And black people, it starts off with them. They shouldn't be using it, because the reason why people are using the N word is because 9 times out of 10 it's become movies and music. Why music and movies? Because people, meaning children, younger people, are not gonna be wanting to say the word that the bum is using, or the guy that doesn't have a job, or the wino from the area, or just the hooligans that are out there. They're gonna want to use it because somebody that they could all recognize is using it, meaning somebody that they all like listen to, or like, how can I say, the stuff that's trending, the stuff that's in, what's hip, what's in style right now. You know what I mean? Because kids, they want to be a part of something. They don't want to be outcast. You know what I mean? They want to be a part of the group. They want to be a part of like everybody. If everybody's talking it at my school, then I want to know what they're talking about too. So I need to like school myself on all that, because I don't want to feel like left out, like I'm a lame, or that's why they tend to do it. So it starts off with music and celebrities. So it's all this positivity and messages that they try to push. It literally starts off with them. They shouldn't be using the word in general in their music and stuff like that. The reason why people are using the word still to nowadays is because they use it. You know what I mean? They talk about positivity, helping the community, helping this and that, smash beef and bringing peace and everything like that. But I mean, yeah, but look at how you're even insulting each other with the N word. You think people are gonna buy the other shit that you're saying? Come on now. You know what I mean? Because it was a term used to belittle you guys. Like if you guys were less than human. So that's the reason why it shouldn't be used. I know it. They got it and they kind of like switched it up on them, but that's not how it works, because that term was still invented to belittle you guys. You get me? So you shouldn't be calling yourself something that you don't want to be called. You feel me? Meaning, like, if you don't want people calling you the N-word, meaning Mexican, white, or whatever, then you shouldn't use the term. You feel me? Because if I start calling everyone bitch or something like that, and if they don't tell me nothing, it's gonna become a pattern. I'm gonna be thinking that I could just say it to everybody. It's gonna make it seem like if it's okay when it's not. You know what I mean? So that shouldn't be okay either. You know what I mean? Because it literally starts off like right there, and then people can't even say like the one term that I do hear is that they say, oh, well, when we say the N-word, that's just how we talk. That's just how we talk around here. That's just how we talk. No, that is not how you talk. You want to know how I know that's not how you talk? Because you don't call your boss at work the N-word. You don't call your parents the N-word. You don't call your wife the N-word. You don't call your children the N-word. You know what I mean? When you're with those people, you don't call them the N-word. So that is not how you talk. Because you keep yourself on check. You don't tell your boss, hey, what's up, my name? You know what I mean? You don't do it. The reason why you don't do it, because you want to show the respect, because you know that it'll be disrespectful if you call him that. So therefore you can put yourself on check, because you give him that amount of respect, and you know where to apply the respect. So that already shows me that you know where to put it and when to use it, and you know that it's disrespectful if you do use that term. So if you're willing to show that amount of respect to your boss, your wife, your parents, and everything, why won't you show me that amount of respect? You know what I mean? That already shows you don't respect me. So you don't care how I'll take the term and everything like that. You don't care if I'll be disrespected. So you don't care for my respect. You get what I mean? So when you say that, it's because you're not showing respect to anybody, because you don't care how they're willing to take it. And you know that's how it means, because you don't call your boss or parents or none of that. That's how you know the difference between the two. So that is not how you talk. You get what I mean? Now, that goes for all races, whether it's white, Asian, all of that. It goes for everybody equally. Now, that's how why the older generation sees it like that. It's a term that shouldn't be used and stuff like that, and because it was a term used to belittle the other side. So that's how they're taking offense to it now. From the younger side, so this is to the older generation right here. When they're using it, understand that if it's a younger person, whether it's your kids or your friends' kids and everything like that, it's because you're not keeping track of what they're doing and stuff. You're not being the right parent that you're supposed to be. You feel me? Because even when it takes too long to find out, like, how is it that you didn't know until now? Like, what were you doing this whole entire time? That means you were in your own little world. And not only that, when you want to come and tell somebody something, you got to come with respect to the table. It doesn't matter if you're old or young. You got to come to the table with respect. You feel me? You got to understand that younger persons have feelings. They're more emotional, because of all their hormones and their testosterone level. Remember, there's a certain age where they're not able to control the levels of emotions that are in there, and the testosterone and mixed all together. It creates a chaotic thing. That's why all teenagers are over dramatic. Hence why they call them the teens, and you're not an adult until, whatever. That's all done by science, you know what I mean? You can look into the data and all that if you want. It's pretty interesting. I like looking at stuff like that. Anywho, so you have to have some understanding on how you need to talk to somebody. Just because you're older doesn't mean that you get to come and talk to them like however you want. You still got to show them respect, even if they're young or not. Because younger people, I know older people tend to kind of like don't like younger people telling them anything or showing them like, no, here, I know how to do it. Like, you're going to show me. Like, believe it or not, you could learn something in this world by anybody. It doesn't matter their age or if they're rich or poor or homeless, whatever. It doesn't matter. They could teach you something. I guarantee you that there's one thing that they could teach you. You know what I mean? Some people just have an interesting way of viewing stuff, and sometimes our pride, especially when we're older, our pride tends to get in our way of seeing things. You get what I mean? That is our error in which we commit. Younger people are more arrogant. Older people are more stubborn. That is just how it is. So sometimes our pride gets in the way, of seeing that. But you gotta come right when you're explaining stuff to them, and understand that when they're coming to you like that, it's not because they're trying to disrespect you or nothing like that. And I'm pretty sure I know I'm not crazy. I know older people when they hear these fools using the N-word, I know they're not seeing it like if they're trying to tell them like fuck you or you're a bitch. I know that they don't see it that way. I know that they're seeing it like they're telling you what's up my boy or what's up dog. I know they see it that way. I know they do, but they just want to act like if it's the other thing, just because you're no part. You're not pushing for the solution. You're a part of the problem too. You know what I mean? You gotta be able to know how to talk to people if you really wanna work shit out. Like how everyone says they wanna work stuff out, but the way that they come at people says otherwise. You know what I mean? Clearly it shows you don't wanna work stuff out or peace or nothing like that, because your actions will forever speak louder than your words. You know what I mean? Just you gotta learn how to be able to talk to somebody. You know what I mean? So at the end, basically, the way I see it is that people shouldn't use it. It shouldn't be used. I don't use it. I don't recommend you using it. It's not part of their culture. It's not part of the what's in, what's hip. It's none of that. You know what I mean? People that are stubborn and naive and stuff like that, they're the ones that tend to want to push the envelope that way. But it's not. It's a term that shouldn't be used. It was used to belittle them. Shouldn't even be used by them. Has to start with other ones, because the only reason why you're using it is because everybody else uses it, and you want to be a part of everybody. Like, you want to be a part of the cool crowd. You don't want to feel left out. Everyone says that they're leaders, but you guys are all followers. You guys literally follow what everybody else does. Trending. Have your own mind. Do you have your own thoughts? Have your own stuff. Don't try to be like everybody else. Everyone's different. Everyone's unique. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with just because you like something and everybody else doesn't. Or just because they like it doesn't mean that you have to like it. You know what I mean? That's where that term comes, where people say, well, if they jump off of a bridge, will you jump too? Because technically that is what everybody's doing. Everyone's trying to be like everybody else. You know what I mean? Whether it's doing stupid stuff online for views or whatever, like, or being disrespectful, whatever. Just because they want to be a part of the trend or whatever, you're just being a follower. You're not being a leader. You say that you don't care about nobody's opinion. I don't give a fuck about what people think about me. Oh, I do me. No, you don't, because the reason why you're acting this way is because you want to be like everybody else, and the reason you don't want to show who you really are is because you're scared of what people might think about you. So therefore you care about people's opinions and all of that. You feel me? I'm just saying. And Shadow, I'm out.